Welcome back to Improve Better Daily. Wrong ones part ways, right ones find their way. The title of the article I'm sharing with you today is called When Marriage Lacks These Three Things, Men Easily Develop Extramarital Affairs. Now, let's listen together. When it comes to relationships, we often hear the saying before marriage, passion sustains love, and after marriage, maintaining marriage relies on management. Those who are good at managing marriage live a peaceful life without waves, while those who are not end up living in mutual torment. Therefore, once a marriage between two people fails, the marriage exists only in name. A marriage that exists only in name, like a deteriorated product with no love, communication, or intimacy, lacks everything. An example of such a loveless marriage is depicted by a person who answers a question on social media. When do you think a marriage is nearing its end? They describe a scenario where the husband works overtime every day, returning home late at night, or even if he doesn't work overtime, he stays out late to play. Both sit in the living room with the wife watching TV while the husband plays games. This reminds me of many loveless marriages that exist in reality. During the day, they are husband and wife, but at night, they become neighbors, each sleeping in separate beds in separate rooms. A wife who's been married for 8 years vents online saying her husband has never been considerate, never bought her gifts, only cares about his work and friends. On Valentine's Day, he wanted to buy 2 movie tickets to watch a movie together, but the husband thought it was a waste of money and insisted on staying home to watch TV. And on their anniversary, she took a day off, cooked a table full of delicious dishes, wanting to surprise him, only to be told he had to work overtime. There are no anniversaries, no Valentine's Days, no birthdays. Even after marriage, he has never said "I love you" to her. Their life together is as bland as plain water, and their marriage naturally becomes lukewarm. Such situations are common in life. When a marriage lacks love and the bond of affection isn't strong enough, it feels more like two people living together, cooperating to raise children, with no hysterical arguments or fights over trivial matters. Instead, there's only silence, which perhaps epitomizes a loveless marriage. A loveless marriage is like a bloodless knife, as depicted in the Japanese drama The Most Perfect Divorce. The worst outcome is not divorce, but becoming a couple wearing masks, living together without love or expectations, which is the greatest misfortune. Most marriages start with love, but often love is depleted by marriage. A marriage without communication is like what Lu Zhenyu once said, loneliness isn't being alone, it's when one person seeks another, one sentence seeks another. That's true loneliness. The most frightening thing in marriage is having nothing to say. Thanks for listening so far. This channel is for everyone to improve better daily. If any of the words or sentences are helpful, then both my team and I will be very happy. Subscribing and following will help keep us moving forward. Let's get back to sharing. There's a short TV clip called Strangers at the Dining Table, where a young couple sits at the dinner table. While the wife talks about various things, the husband is engrossed in his laptop, responding with perfunctory "msa." The wife finds a voice recorder while cleaning under the sofa and listens to their daily life sounds, but realizes there are no conversations between her and her husband. Such a marriage without conversation is like the coldest violence in the world. From the days of not talking during courtship to marriage, where there's nothing to talk about, how many marriages perish due to this lack of communication? We should never forget that the affection between loving spouses begins with words and collapses when we ignore each other. A sexless marriage, as Gyu said, love without sex isn't love. At best, it's just friendship. This means how well a marriage is doing can often be seen in the bedroom. In a documentary about marriage crises, there's a scene where Louise and Tom, in an emotional crisis due to Louise's infidelity, decide to seek counseling. Before going to the counseling room, they sit in a small bar. Louise feels guilty and sincerely says to Tom, "If it weren't for me, we wouldn't be here." Tom acknowledges, and Louise, feeling resentful, says, "So, you don't bear any responsibility for not having sex with me? That's why I sought someone else." Though spoken harshly, it holds truth. Because when there's no intimacy in bed, there's freedom under the sheets. Many times, when lovers become family, When sparks turn into routine, when sex becomes a luxury, marriage becomes obsolete. As the sexologist May Sionian said, the essence of a sexless marriage is a loveless marriage. Marriage is not a solo performance but a duet. To have a good marriage, the bedroom must also be satisfactory. This is the preservative of marriage. Though marriage is difficult, it's not the graveyard of love, nor is it a besieged city. We must understand that there's no perfect marriage in this world. Even the greatest love is inevitably eroded by daily life. So let's not think of marriage as a haven for the rest of our lives. Marriage is a belief, a commitment that requires lifelong maintenance and protection. Love is the hardest but also the sweetest thing in the world. May you and I understand how to nurture it, how to cherish it, and in the end, see the flowers bloom and the moon shine, supporting each other for a lifetime. That's all for today's sharing. Don't forget to like and share with your friends. Looking forward to meeting you again.